guys. It's honestly been so long since I've even recorded a video that it feels a little bit weird to be sitting here doing it right now, and I don't even really know how to start this video properly. I guess the first thing that I want to say is just that I'm sorry that I have left it so long in between posting a video. The truth is that life has gotten really hard for me, and I am just going to take things one day at a time and see how things go. I do want to thank everybody for all of the comments that you've left on my videos. Even though I haven't been posting videos in a long time, I do read every single comment, and I get notified when I get a comment. It comes right to my email inbox, and I read every single one of them, and I want you guys to know that. Some of the comments have been really uplifting for me, and I just want to thank you for leaving those. They've really brightened my days. Reading them have been actually really beneficial for me. Some of them have been really hopeful and encouraging and just appreciative, and I really am so grateful for those comments because reading them has made the hard days a little bit easier. For all the comments where people are asking questions or they want advice, I'm sorry if I haven't gotten around to answering all of those yet. I do try and reply to every single comment that I get, but as I said, life has been really hard for me recently, and so I've been falling behind on that. So I just want to thank anybody who's also replied to other people's comments or answered some of the questions that are on there. And if you did leave a comment for me and I haven't replied to it yet, just know that I have read it, I have thought about it and appreciated it, and I will get around to answering it at some point. I just have to figure out my life a little bit and get around to doing that. So please don't feel neglected if I haven't responded yet. So I guess a good place to start would be, where have I been? What has happened to me? So my last video was posted several months ago, and in that video I gave you guys a bit of an update, and I was gonna come off my meds. I have officially, I think, been off medications in general for almost a year now, and it's been a roller coaster. Basically, 6 or 7 months ago, I sat down and I recorded a very long video. The footage was about 30 to 40 minutes worth of video footage that I was going to edit down into 1 or 2 videos for you guys. And I believe the title of it was going to be something like, I'm off my meds and I'm doing okay. And at that point, I had come off my meds and been off of them for a few months, and I was actually in a really good place. I came off of my antidepressants, and there was a withdrawal period. I went through that. I did, I think, make a couple videos talking a little bit more about the withdrawal that I had and how that went. And I was actually surprised at how easy coming off the medication was. I definitely did have withdrawal and it was hard, but it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. And then I was coping really well off of them, and I was super proud of myself for doing that. That doesn't mean that I didn't have anxiety, because I definitely did. Pretty much as soon as all of the medication was out of my system, the anxiety started creeping back in. Slowly, it was more of a trickle, and you know, as every day went by, my anxiety was ramping up to be kind of what it used to be, but I was still coping. I was using the strategies that I had learned through CBT and counseling and my mindfulness meditation and all of the therapies that I had done whilst I was on medication. I was using those to cope. And so whilst it was hard, like I definitely had those emotions back again, it was also doable. You know, like I was surviving, I was coping, I was getting through the days in a somewhat healthy way still, and I was coping using all of the strategies that I had learned, and it was going okay. In the video, I think I also talked about the fact that there were a lot of positives that I was experiencing having come off my meds as well. One of those being that I was feeling a lot more of my happy emotions again. I think the antidepressants numbed a lot of my regular emotions in addition to my anxiety and depression. So I got a lot of my motivation back, and I got a lot of my happy, excited feelings back. And that was a big joy for me, because for a while it had been really hard for me to cry. And when I came off my medication, suddenly I was crying again. I actually went through a period where I was crying quite a lot, and it wasn't necessarily because I was sad. It was also, I would cry at happy movies, I would cry at touching moments, and I just got my sensitivity back. I've always been considered a highly sensitive person, and I have been accused many times of being oversensitive because I am really in touch with my emotions. And I think when I was on antidepressants, that really got numbed out a lot, and I wasn't in touch with my emotions anymore. It took a lot to make me cry back when I was on antidepressants, and I definitely didn't cry at happy things or touching things or emotional, lovey things. Those kind of things didn't make me cry. They would evoke some emotion in me, but not like the visceral reaction that I would normally have. So that was actually a positive for me when I came off the meds. I felt like I was connecting with myself again and reconnecting with my sensitive side and my empathy and my compassion and just my oversensitive nature. That's who I am as a person, and so I felt like I was getting that back, and that was really important to me. Antidepressants can dampen your depression, and they can dampen your anxiety and your fear, which is obviously the intended effect, but they also happen to dampen a lot of your other emotions as well, and that's kind of one of the trade-offs that you have. And that's something you have to find a balance for when you are on antidepressants. And so in order for me to get those back, I had to come off medication. And so for me, that was a positive. Obviously, though, the negative was that a ton of my anxiety and depression was coming back. More so anxiety than depression, but I think when you spend every single day feeling very anxious, depression kind of goes hand in hand with that. So you might be wondering why you never saw this video that I created where I talked about all of these things and about how well I was doing off the meds, and about, where I was talking about how I had some anxiety back, but I was doing really well. The reason why you didn't see that video was because when I went to edit it, the quality was just really terrible, and I started feeling really self-conscious about it, which isn't something that I usually care about on my channel. I don't usually care how I look. I mean, you can go back and see videos I've got in the past. Some of them, yeah, I've got makeup on, my hair looks okay, I've put some effort in. Other ones, I have no makeup on, I'm in my house coat or my pajamas, my hair is a mess, and I don't care. I've just put the videos up there to show you what real life is like. I don't censor myself on my videos. But this one was a little different. It was like, I even was wearing makeup in it, and I had put an effort in, but I just felt really self-conscious about the way I looked. The light was coming in the window and hitting me in a weird way. I just suddenly felt like I had to reshoot the video if I was going to put it up. And the quality was bad for some reason. I guess the camera that I was using, and there were just so many factors. I just didn't feel happy with it at all. So every time I sat down to edit it, I just got so discouraged that I ended up not editing it. So it actually just sat on my computer as a raw video file for months. Then I had a new problem. Suddenly I wasn't doing so well anymore, and so if I had edited that video and posted it, it would no longer be true. Sadly, after a while, I wasn't coping so well, and I wasn't doing okay off of my meds, and that was really hard for me to come to terms with. Part of it was that I work as an artist, and the busiest time of year for me is from October to the end of December, and I was run off my feet. I worked myself much too hard. Because I had all my motivation back and my anxiety back, I was so worried about being a failure that I worked myself to the bone. I stayed up late, sometimes pulling all-nighters trying to create products for upcoming fairs and markets and to stock my store with for Christmas. And I ended up getting a really big order from my university in my city for several new art pieces to be Christmas greeting cards. And that was huge for me, accomplishment wise, just getting that big order. It was great exposure. I was so happy about it, but it caused a lot of extra stress for me. And all of that extra stress just really ramped up my anxiety and made things just very difficult for me to cope. Christmas can be a really tough time of year for a lot of people, and it's definitely a really tough time of year for me because not only is that when work is hardest for me, but it brings up a lot of bad personal memories from my childhood, and it's just a really tough time to get through. And this was the first Christmas that I had been through in a long time where I wasn't on medication to help me. I found myself really struggling, and suddenly I couldn't edit that video and post it because it was no longer true. It wasn't relevant anymore. I wasn't doing okay. So that's why there's been a huge gap. And then because I wasn't doing well, I didn't sit down and film a video. You know, I was barely getting things done as it was, let alone doing extra things like working on my YouTube channel. And I really apologize for that gap, and for those of you that were following me, I apologize for there just being a lull where I wasn't there. But at the end of the day, I had to prioritize the things going on in my life, and I was so overwhelmed with everything, there was no way I could add YouTube videos on top of that. So it kind of just fell to the wayside, and that sucks. I honestly don't even know what to say other than that. You know, I wish that I had posted that video regardless of how it made me feel, because at least it would have been a little bit more information out there, because I feel like now when you watch my last video to this one, so much time has passed and so much has changed with me, but that's kind of how it goes with mental health. You can be okay one day and then the next week you're in a totally different headspace. As I said, it's been a little bit under a year, maybe about a year since I came off my medication. And since about October or November, I've been struggling, and it is currently the end of February. Tomorrow's actually March 1st. So that's a lot of months that I haven't been doing very well. But I'm going to be doing another video that I'm going to be uploading right after this one, where I'm going to be talking about exactly how I'm doing right now. And just kind of a mental health update for you guys of exactly how I am right this instant, and what I'm going to be doing going forward. This video is kind of just to let you guys know where I've been, why I haven't been here, why it's been so long since I uploaded a video, and just kind of to get you guys in the loop again and to apologize for the absence. Please stay tuned for my next video. I hope that you will watch it and that will give you guys some more insight into how I've been. And again, thank you so much for all of your comments, for your comment replies to other people, for all of the support that you guys have shown, not only to me, but to each other as well. It makes a huge difference, and it can help people to feel not alone, and I feel like that is a huge weapon against this mental health battle, and so I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video.